Okay, good. My menu popped up where it still says the darkest souls are not those which choose to exist within the hell of the abyss, but those who choose to break free of the abyss and move silently among us. Dr. Samuel Loomis. Oh, it's playing. Good thing I read fast. I'm on Halloween right now. It just popped up. The
Hold on. Mine just hit Dimension.
Okay, yeah, it'll be just a second.
So let me know when it starts to wave the dimension over the screen, and then I'll hit play.
Well, no, it does Dimension, then it does the Loomis quote, and then it does Halloween.
Oh. Did you pause it on Halloween?
I did, yeah. I read the quote for everybody. You're welcome. Hey, I didn't stutter, and I got all the words right. All right, I'm on Halloween.
Um,
Hey, win. Wait. All right, so we're on Halloween,
hold
guys.
on.
You ready?
Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna pause it. All right, I paused it.
All
Give it
right,
3, 2, 1, play.
3, 2, 1, engage. All right. Oh no, I got to remute the TV, and I got to turn on the
Dude,
headset. I'm a mess. Oh, that's too
I'm
loud.
really, I'm really upset I couldn't get the PC to work because that camera and that mic are awesome.
I'm jealous you have all that noise.
Well, it doesn't work at the moment.
Right. Well, it will.
You like my IKEA door back here?
Yes. I will say that uh, clown mask is freaky.
It is. And I'm still waiting. Right now, Fun World has the right. I think it's Fun World has the right to this movie's masks. Trick or Treat Studios needs to get that license because I will buy like 18 copies.
Oh, we're missing some good dialogue here.
Good dialogue. I do like William Forsythe. He is a great actor.
Yeah, he really is. William Forsythe. Yeah, dude. Like this movie just started, and like I don't even know how many nasty things just came out of his mouth.
How was this scene is so great? That's what I don't get. Don't get me wrong. I love this movie, but I also see its flaws. Like, how was this scene is so great at the time?
It doesn't need to be this angry and loud and nasty. Like, just do a couple things. You see the dad hit Michael when she's not looking. It doesn't have to go there this hard. Like, it's
Yeah.
very in your face. I hope you get it. I hope you understand, or I'm going to beat you to death with it.
Yeah. This goes full on like really? Really? That's
Dude,
supposed to be your stepdaughter.
I know. I Dumper's funny. Like, I don't know why, but it always makes me laugh.
Ha!
I love that because they had to shoot that thing like 13 times, that scene. And so when she's like, I can't do this anymore, I believe her because like they had to clean it up, reset it. It'd be
Set
a
it
pain.
back up. And, yeah.
Right. Michelle. I will say that there's a really good combination, Sherry Moon and William Forsythe. Like they really do match each other well. I don't know. The tone, chemistry.
Yeah.
Not There's no real chemistry, but you know what I mean.
For what they were given, it's acted really well.
Yeah.
Like, this is the script, this is the dialogue.
This right here, like,
They
come
did good.
on. This is the first time out of two times we're going to get a nasty thing at the
Nope,
end.
you don't get the other one in this cut.
Oh, okay. That's right. You said that. That's right. Okay. And he has blue eyes. Like, why wouldn't you get a kid with brown eyes at least? How would you feel that Rob Zombie hired you because you were a scary looking kid? And when he said scary, like, he meant.
And I've heard like four reasons why he was recast in two, and I don't know which one's actually true. I've read he aged too quick, but then the kid they used for the next one looked older anyways. I've heard his parents didn't want him in it after they saw the movie. Um, I've heard that he didn't want the role, and I've also heard that like there was an argument between his agent and another actor's agent, and I feel like with how much I think it's Dag is his name, something like that. How much he signs off on being Kid Michael Myers, I feel like he probably maybe wanted to be in
Dude,
H2 as well.
he had a blast filming this one. Like, I got to imagine that he would have come back, but what I don't understand is why they didn't just put a mask on him for the whole movie in the or well, for the flashbacks in the second one. But dude, even here, like, I get it that these kids are bullies, but man, it's the fact that every single character is nasty to the 10th power.
As a kid who was bullied through grade school, when Michael goes full on ape on that kid, I in the theater when I went to see it, I was like, yeah!
Yeah.
It made me very happy.
What's going on with this dude's face?
He passed away recently. He's been a big deal throughout a lot of TV shows and stuff. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Did he have like scars or is it just makeup? Because he really looks like makeuped up.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of that, and then you know how like not to be mean because it's in my family too. Like the shaving scars where you get really deep wounds from the shaving. I think that is, and again, for people watching, not trying to be mean or
Right.
rude at all. I'll probably have them under this beard. Honestly, it helps hide some of that. So
That's why I just didn't know if Rob Zombie was going for that or this actor's like that. I couldn't remember.
found a dead one.
Yeah, that's nasty. Like, you just threw that in your backpack?
Okay, I don't care. The bloopers of this are even better.
They are. I kind of feel bad for some of them because he was making a lot of jokes, messing around a lot on set, which is great for morale, but like I would be kind of frustrated if I was Rob.
I feel like okay, as somebody who's seen most, I think all Rob Zombie's films and all the blooper reels. One thing I have to give them is on the blooper reels, they all seem like they're actually having fun on set.
Right.
I think, and I've heard a lot of actors say that the worst gigs they've ever had is on comedy, and the best gigs they've ever had is on horror, just because people take the comedy too serious and people take the horror very, very lightly,
Right.
and it adds to the experience.
I could see that. This is a weird. I don't know. The music right here, like it hit real early. Like I would have saved the music for like as soon as Michael makes
At least,
contact with these bullies, I would have cued the music then. I don't understand. Like
at least they used it in this film, unlike the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, which is at the end credits, I believe, when they use it.
I don't know about that. I can't remember. It's been so long. But in the second movie, Halloween 2, they only use the Halloween theme song like one time.
I honestly think that has to do with Rob Zombie not wanting to do H2.
All right. Oh, you
And
can tell he
he
was
was like,
angry in
I
that
gotta
movie.
kill Loomis, I'm gonna kill Lori, and I'm gonna kill Michael.
I'm
And
gonna
they
destroy
still tried to
everything.
make Halloween 3 out of it.
This is a nice shot right here, though. How he's walking behind him and following him. Just that shoulder shot. That's very Michael Myers. That's a good shot.
That's very reminiscent of H1
Right.
78.
It's a great shot.
Now, this scene, as a kid who was bullied, it was like both empowering and tragic in a way.
See, I wouldn't have killed this kid though. Like this always kind of bothered me. Like I would have had Michael follow him and think about it, but I would have had Michael snap the night of Halloween just because like the father-in-law does something or the stepdad does something and but yeah, this just seemed a little it seemed a little premature. I don't know. like in the first movie, most of the kills happened during the night when Michael was stalking. This just seemed a little fast, but I mean,
But it also sets a different tone between, the original Michael Myers and this version of Michael Myers.
right.
Like
Well,
this kid snapped because of his home life and because of everything he's been through, and
he's
he
just
was like, you know what? I'm taking it out on him.
uh,
He found the first one who messed with him and took him out.
see. I
And
wouldn't
it
have
just
lived.
so happened to be a spy kid. He took out a spy kid.
See, I wouldn't have taken the mask off there either.
The broken teeth that he has in that scene always get me. Like, that's one thing Rob Zombie is very good at. With the pain aspect of the film, like the teeth here or things like that, when it shows it, or like the mouth in H2 after the accident when he's like separating his teeth from his lip, that's
See, right there though, when he took the news art or not news article, but paper flyer or whatever it is of his mom, when he took that out and looked at it, and he took it from that kid and put it away. I like that because it attaches it connects to the family element of it. Um, but at the same time,
it's a
spoiler.
little more Jason than Michael.
Well,
You
yeah,
know,
but it fits if you're going for the family angle and you're starting off early, so we fully accept it and we can just follow along. I like that. That's very nice. But I don't like the fact that he kills Judith. Like, there's just the whole thing is like, I love my family, protect my family, but at the same time, he kills Judith. He doesn't kill his mom. He
he
doesn't kill.
doesn't he doesn't have that attachment to Judith. Judith is mean to him.
I get
And
that. It's
then
just, I get that. It's just weird. I'd rather him struggle to kill Judith. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, hang on. We got
Boo,
some more great dialogue.
yeah.
Why would he tell? Why would she tell Ronnie? Like he really is messed up. Like his two fingers are broke, his arms broke. Like good God.
He plays John Wayne Gacy in a film called Dear Mr. Gacy, which is about the real life writer who wrote to many serial killers trying to get like in their minds while they were in jail, who wound up doing an interview with Gacy. And it's I think I found it on Tubi. For those that don't know, that's a free film app, but it's got ads. But Dear Mr. Gacy, and he portrays John Wayne Gacy in a very creepy way. It's worth the watch.
That's like everybody with like their friends that are difficult, their bosses. They're like, I'm gonna remember this. I'm keeping it.
Death.
Like the dialogue is rough. It really is, but it is funny. Like and that's not what you're going for. It's just so over the top. But I love William Forsythe, so I give it a pass. But yeah, this I don't know. This movie is more entertaining for what it is. Like it is good looking. It can you know you pay attention the whole movie. It's just it's hard to detach yourself from the original source material because it's a masterpiece. Like there's some imperfections in '78's Halloween, but for the most part, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah. One thing that Rob Zombie did do well is he took he took into account all of the previous entries in some way or another. For instance, he turned the Rabbit in Red to the strip club. He used Danielle Harris as a leading role in the film. He paid attention and he tried to pay tribute. And from what I understand, he had a little bit different in mind. And John Carpenter gave him his blessing to do his own thing. And there was studio meddling.
Right.
Now, I don't know how much is to blame for the studio making a better film versus Rob Zombie's version being worse, or vice versa. But
Well, we know that it
I
would be
do
worse because
appreciate
there's
how
the
much
director's cut.
he did mean to pay a debt to the original films, whereas I feel like some of the other films, like for instance, Five, what did that pay to the other films other than made Donald Pleasance like really scary?
Right. Here's the thing I don't understand. I mean, if you're a fan of horror movies in history, what works, what doesn't work, and it is not always a guarantee. But at this point in time, he had the 98 remake of Psycho, which nobody liked, and he had the 2003 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which everybody from the beginning liked. So, my question for you is, if you saw one worked and one didn't work, why would you do an in the middle? Like, I'll do my own new spin on the first part of it, and then I'll do remake, or I'll do a basically shot for shot remake.
And that's from some of what I've read is that he wanted to do more of his own thing, and where it kind of starts to be almost a shot for shot remake was where the studio kicked in, which I could see. I really could. It's not unheard of. The Crow sequel, they were like, no, it's not enough like the first one, so we're gonna make you reshoot the whole film. Or with, uh, like they will come down. They will say it's not like the previous one enough, or not like the original enough, and then all of a sudden you're rewriting your script and sending out new pages of notes for the actors and cast that day.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that most people prefer the theatrical cuts over the director's cuts for the reason of it's less Rob Zombie. And I'll also say that the fact that, I mean, I just I don't trust him to, I don't know. I trust him to do his own material, but not necessarily, I don't know. Anybody who remakes a beloved classic is screwed. I mean, unless you just
Yeah.
strike gold. Because even
I
people
mean,
rethinking, I mean, think about it. People like the miniseries, most people should be able to beat that. Like, it had a low budget, it had all these restraints for made for TV, and look at how everybody freaked out for 2017's It, and now that 2019 came out, everybody kind of went back and went, I kind of like the miniseries better. Like, at first they loved it, but they kind of went back on it too. But I mean, box office dollars matter, and at the end of the day, I mean, it made money.
and honestly, I said the whole time with it and It Chapter Two, the most recent versions, that it was too polished. I feel like if it was trying to pay any tribute to the miniseries, it missed. Now, from what I understand, it pays more tribute to the book, which is totally fine. I read part of the book years and years and years ago. I never finished it. No pun intended. But I prefer the miniseries, and Tim Curry's Pennywise is terrifying to me.
Yeah, and he fits more to the book too. Dude, this
Yeah,
kid, like, I don't know how much he watched, but he's doing a phenomenal job of just his slow movements, especially for a young Michael Myers. Like, he's really doing a great job.
that head tilt. Being a kid with that head tilt to the side
That
and
head,
just waiting,
yeah,
waiting for the light to go out.
it's really really hard to pull off because you have to be patient with it. You can't just do that. You have to really wait for it. You have to pause,
Hmm.
and you have to kind of let your head take gravity. You can't just turn your head. It's harder than it looks. Like, yeah, he's fantastic. And this Myers mask he's going to get here in a minute is just phenomenal.
The thing that always got me is in the trailer before the film came out, I thought it looked scary, him walking down the hall as a kid in the adult mask. Now I laugh almost every time I watch the scene because it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah. but the intensity is still there to where it kind of levels itself out. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah,
silly, but it's the child's creativity and the horror of it.
yeah.
Like, how comfortable are you to just get in somebody's house and start eating their salami or whatever, making a sandwich? Like, I'm gonna do the dirty with your daughter, and then I'm gonna make me a sandwich. I hope that's okay with you, sir. Or well, it's not. That wasn't his daughter, but you know what I mean.
He doesn't care. And Sherry tried to kick him out, or sorry, Deborah tried to kick him out.
Yeah,
And bam! And that is really well acted too. Like the
yeah, it is.
twitches, the
When the cutaway to from the bat to where the sound and the way the camera kicks out, like right there, that bat is bending and it's rubber, but you can't tell because the cuts and the editing is so phenomenal. Blood looks real. Like,
and see that's the thing that I was saying about Rob Zombie's films earlier. The kills and any of the like, ooh, that hurt shots are far more effective than a lot of other horror films. Like House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, this, 31, all of them, these scenes are like just way more painful to watch for some reason. I don't know. He's got that down.
yeah. Once again, I, I just wouldn't have taken it, have him take the mask off. I don't understand. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Now he looks down and sees the mask, though. But I would have had him made contact with the mask more. But God, that's a good looking mask.
Yep.
Like, that's how you redo the Kirk mask. It looks so close to the original, but does its own
Yeah.
thing.
Far enough apart that it's unique.
Right. Like, this is really weird too. That part. And the behind the scenes man watching her practice the slaps is hilarious because she just doesn't feel comfortable enough with it. So
Yeah.
it's pretty funny. Now this is the hardest Halloween music to get. Well, I might be thinking of the director's cut. It's been so long since I've seen the theatrical. No, yeah, dun dun dun. Yeah, the Jaws. I mean, it's a remake of the Jaws, really. I mean, we give credit to John Carpenter, absolutely, but really, it's Jaws. I mean, that's what Michael Myers is. You know. I will say, like, I mean, Rob Zombie, he's a really good like scout of talent. Like the look that
Yeah.
he's going for, the emotions that he wants. Rob Zombie does a really really good job at casting and getting the right people to fit the scene. He really does a great job. I mean, there's so much right with Rob Zombie. I think it's literally his dialogue. That's the only problem. It's not the ending. It's not the execution for the most part. It's
It's
just,
not the music, it's not the cinematography, it's not the angles, it's not the characters, it's their dialogue that he writes.
it's just the dialogue. Because I will say the characters and H2 they suck. But other than that, I mean, and the rest of his movies, the characters are great. It's just It's just the dialogue. It's just that nasty. Everybody has to be nasty and unrelatable. And when you can't relate to characters, you don't care. And that's the
Yeah.
biggest problem. I didn't feel anything when his sister was killed right there. Nothing. Had she said a couple sweet things to him and he just been in a rampage, I would have felt bad right now. I just don't care.
I want their car though.
Uh, Reminds me of the Evil Dead car.
Yeah, but I
What's that?
think this is a GTO, maybe.
I will say I don't mind Sherry Moon Zombie. I know a lot of people give her a hard time. I think she's
I
great and
don't
everything.
really either. Like,
I just
she honestly, you're right there.
yeah, I'm just shifting the camera. Sorry, I'm listening. Sorry.
You're good. No, honestly, I think had the DC universe came out just a little bit earlier, I think she could have been a good Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
She has that voice, she has that charisma, she has that like she could fit it.
yeah.
And I think it's a huge missed opportunity there.
How about Harley Quinn's mother in a straitjacket that she busts out of Arkham?
Or, we are getting a Flashpoint. Why not have an older Harley Quinn?
Yeah, yeah. Or have her play the female Joker, the Martha Joker.
Yes.
This is also a nice shot right here. Look at that. Out of frame onto the right. It's gonna have that flash. Oh shoot! God dang, it's the director's cut. Really?
And this is another thing I like is the news reports. He uses those in almost all of his films. Like, and that's something that I feel like died out with the 70s and 80s, but is effective. It gives you that little bit that you may have missed. So, like, say you stepped out to go use the bathroom in a theater, it like catches you. It's nice. I like it.
Well, and it also adds a sense of realism. It also adds a sense of like wow, this is horrible. Like breaking
Yeah.
news. You won't believe this. Look what this kid did. 17 times he stabbed his own sister. You know,
Yeah.
3 bodies. Blah blah blah. Like,
Yeah.
but this is where things really start to get interesting. If you can just get past like really like as soon as the bullies stop talking and he hunts down the bullies, I like the movie a lot better. It's just such a rough intro.
Yeah.
Has Malcolm McDowell always been old? Like even when he was like 20?
I mean, have you seen A Clockwork Orange? He was young there.
It's literally been 20 years probably.
Same. I have it, and fully intend to watch it, but I don't think I've seen it since I was in high school.
If I did a quiz, I'd be failing the pop quiz.
Oh yeah,
See, this is really cool right here. If you look, like Rob Zombie shot this in order of the scenes, so this kid is actually aging, and he aged quick. And he was like, it's just a happy coincidence that this kid was aging this fast, to where over as the time goes, and you see him, digress or whatever, he looks older, and it really is great. But once
yeah,
the tragedy of the mom, we don't care because she's a horrible person. There's nothing. It's not that she's a stripper. There's nothing against stripping. You're using your body. You're making money. I don't care. Who cares? Like if I was as good looking as Sherry Moon Zombie, you best believe I'd be naked in these movies. Nothing against that, but it's her dialogue. It's who she chooses to be around. She's nobody cares. This is the one. This is one of the characters you care about right here, Danny Trejo,
yeah.
the janitor caretaker kind of guy.
I
This
feel
is a good. This is
who
good.
does it when it gets to his scene, every time I'm like, no,
Right.
not him.
See, you have an emotional connection because you can relate to him. He's not horrible. He's actually trying to connect to. He knows what Michael Myers did, but he's still trying to relate to him. He's still trying to show some sympathy, like some compassion. And later on, when you feel that loss, that it's great.
Yeah, that is one of the few times, in my opinion, that Rob Zombie has made a character that you care about that dies.
Mm-hmm.
Is Danny Trejo in this movie? In literally all of the other films, and House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite zombie film. I don't care that those characters are dead.
Right. Right.
You're rooting for the bad guys throughout that movie, but this movie, you care about him
Right. And you do care about Loomis also because he really is trying.
until H2.
Right. What's interesting is this takes place in I think um, like early '80s, the beginning of this. And so if you think back of like the original Halloween where it takes place in the '60s, people didn't know about split personalities, all this crazy stuff, like or all these different scenarios. So it's really interesting to see that Loomis could have been doing everything in his power to reach this evil and have no idea how to treat it. Not only is he limited by the information at the time, but he's also limited by the extreme evil he's dealing with. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting if you think about it from that point of view.
Yeah.
But see, here we go again with he's ugly in this movie, so he wears a mask, and then they kind of have it to where the masks show his emotions, but they kind of gloss over that a little bit. In the original, Michael Myers is an angelic figure. Like that's why they have Tony Moran as Michael Myers. They wanted somebody to look really good looking and have to wear a mask to show how blank and evil he is. With this kid,
Yeah.
he's ugly and scary. It just takes all the mystery out of it. But I'm telling you, these handmade masks are freaky as hell.
Yeah.
Once again, he looks older right now. He looks, distressed. I feel either he's playing a really good part of not knowing what he did, or the evil is completely consuming him to where he's becoming unreachable. He's fully embracing that evil within him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's beautiful and entertaining. I just wish Rob Zombie would have a little bit more help with the dialogue, with the character arcs and portrayals, because he's got that thing that makes him very special. And that and
Yeah.
that's what makes the best directors of all time. But you just got to kind of hammer in the fine details. It's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of like Zack Snyder. Like he's so good at so many aspects, but he just can't make a 2 hour, 20-minute movie and get all those thoughts and ideas in there. He just can't do it.
Yeah.
See, here we go. We insert another turd character.
But in this cut, it's different.
Let's take a look. Oh, okay. See, that is better. She's not
Yep.
asking for it. She didn't turn her back. She did turn her back like an idiot. Like who would do that?
But she just said cute baby. She didn't say that couldn't be related to you thing.
Right, right.
And right in the neck.
See, he kind of reminds me of Zack Snyder. He knows how to show you an image and hang on to it, hold on to it, stretch the emotions stretch the power of the moment. Like, look at that, lingering on Michael's face right there. You're gonna hear like no dialogue or anything from Loomis or the mom. You're just gonna feel the emotions from him. Like
Yeah.
you're the panic of the alarm. Just he's so good. He has so much opportunity
And that
the best of all
rage in
time.
his face, and
Yeah,
it just terrifies her.
slowing down the scene just a little bit to linger. That's a great scene. The horror. Oh, that's a great scene. And this part sucks. Like
It
I,
does.
I, I just don't understand. Like with the baby in the house, like really, dude. Like
I can I can really empathize, and that, I mean, imagine one of your children kills the rest of your family.
right, but still though, like like with a baby that depends on you, that every waking moment
How do
is
you,
you.
but how do you explain that to that kid when that kid grows up?
Right, and I get this, but like calling somebody like, hey, can you come over real quick? And then you off yourself, and they're gonna come over and get the baby, like, or you drop off the baby and do it, like, I mean, if you want to kill
That
yourself, like, look, we
I
all
feel like,
die. We all die. It's a guarantee. I'm sorry to tell you that, but if you
but I
want,
feel like when you're in the moment, I feel like that is very practical. There's nothing that can really make you change when you are that far.
I don't know. Yeah, I would
I
still
think that
you.
without actual intervention, nothing can really, and that's what sucks. That's why I'm a huge, huge pusher. If you need help, get it. Like, do your best, try and find something, talk to somebody, phone a friend, something.
Yeah. See, look, here's Danny Trejo, still being nice, still being a friend,
Yep.
empathizing. This guy was at 2019 Comic Con. The other guy, can't remember his name. My apologies.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to go to his booth, but God, I spent so much money at that con. I
Same
was
here. The
like,
reason
I
I
gotta
didn't
stop.
get Bill Mosley's signature, and I'm gonna kick myself for the rest of my life on that one.
I'm really, really happy that I did get this one, though.
Yeah, I need to frame mine, man. That's pretty sick.
Look at how small he makes that chair look.
I know. He's
Which,
slimmed
by the
down
way,
so much. It's crazy. That's what's like 13 years. It's crazy what changes. But at the same time, like right now, he's still banking on his size. He's still probably working out. Now he's probably just cashing checks and living the good life.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like he was big in person.
But he's skinny now. He's fit. He looks good, but he's not intimidating. I would not be intimidated if he rolled up to me. I would. He's not this guy anymore.
If he popped that Myers mask on for a photo op, you'd have probably been like,
I don't know. I can't be scared of a man in skinny jeans. And no disrespect, no disrespect to anybody, but I'm not afraid of any man in skinny jeans. I'm just not.
new horror movie idea.
This is great. This harkens back to the core of Loomis, the obsession with Michael Myers, the admission that Michael is pure evil. This is good stuff.
I
Mm.
do like how they focus in on Loomis's eyes while he says that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He's
It's a
got blue eyes
cat
like
thing
Michael.
too.
He's
And I
got
feel like that embodies the character of Loomis in the original films too. Like
yeah,
you start questioning Loomis's motives, like when he starts like tossing Jamie out as bait. You're like, wait, what's he doing?
you
When
can
he
sense
killed the
that
dog
Loomis
man.
is a seeker of the truth. He's the seeker of wanting to actually fix, make things better, find the truth in you know psychoanalysis or whatever.
Yeah.
Love the fact that Michael is bigger, he's larger than life in the background. Like there's just so much in that one little 30-second scene. That's good
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff Rob Zombie gets, he freaking slam dunks it.
Yeah.
it
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the better scene. I don't care.
yeah.
I remember when the DVD first came out and it said director's cut, I was so mad because the scene here was different. And I was like, that's not how he got out when I went to the movie theaters. Like, I felt like somebody was pulling a fast one on me. I was like, wait, what?
Right. I really like the orange mask. I
Mhm.
don't know why. It stands out and it fits Halloween. It just looks great. I freaking love this mask. I
Yeah.
wish I had that McFarlane figure. I think it's McFarlane, but it's really
It's NECA.
huh?
It's NECA.
NECA?
It's a NECA. I think it's under the Cult Classic label, with the two heads. And yeah, they're expensive to snag. Just
Yeah.
like the '03 Texas Chainsaw Massacre figures. They're bonkers.
That's the thing. It sucks about collecting. You better get on it like as soon as it comes out, because God forbid you don't, you ain't never getting it again.
Yeah. Now, if I ever see the Wish.com version of these figures, I might pick them up just because, like, I can repaint it. Like,
Right. See, I don't like that he snapped his chains. Like, it just seems really cheap. Like, he could have done that any time. Like, I don't know. Make it in between the putting on the chains or something right before the door opens. I don't know. But it's very violent. This is a good violent scene where it looked like he put hardly any effort in killing all these people.
it reminds me of H6.
Yeah, yeah. That's a lot of blood.
So much blood.
See, that's a great shot right there.
It is. God, man, no.
Yeah. And see
I
this
was good to you, Mikey.
right. Not for everybody, but this is what you should feel for a third of the characters.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, you don't feel this bad for any of the Friday the 13th murders.
Well,
I
I feel
mean,
bad for what's his name? Where's the corkscrew? Oh, I feel
you know
bad for
what I
him.
want to call him.
Huh?
It says he's a dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crispin Glover. I feel bad for Crispin
Yeah.
Glover. And I feel bad for Kevin Bacon. There's a few that I feel bad for, but see that right there? That's a good shot.
It's rough. It's raw.
But you see
It's
the
tough to watch.
but you see the aftermath. You don't have to see the violence. It's like 2018 where you see his jaw broke and then you see the teeth. You don't need to see him slamming him in. It's scarier just to see the aftermath.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Danny Trejo right now, I'm gone.
I'm done.
See, this is great. He knows he's screwed. This is like poker. He's playing his bluff. You just play the role and go for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna regret later. Don't do it. Like he's pretending like he's still in control. Like nothing happened. This is good. This is good stuff.
God, this sucks though.
This is this is Danny Trejo's best performance, and I'm going to give credit to Danny Trejo, but I'm going to give credit to Rob Zombie because he really does bring out the best in the actors.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, he doesn't fight back. He's still trying to relate to him and connect to him. And it's not like a lot of movies where they just kill him and move on. It lingers.
Yeah.
This is the kill you really want to show and linger.
It's so rough to watch because you know that he spent years being that guy to Michael.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what,
He's
20?
usually the guy who like snuck him a candy bar or just like that small talk to take his mind off of things for a minute.
Yeah,
God, it's so hard.
done deal. See, here's what I don't understand. Why does Loomis still have one of those turn dial phones?
I had one in my house as a kid,
My grandmother did, yeah.
and I was born in 1990, so I mean that tells you.
But it's weird because this now is taking place in like '98, and just not a whole lot of people still had those phones.
Yeah,
I will say this also, another compliment to Rob Zombie. The soundtrack and the
it's
music,
amazing.
it's phenomenal.
It complements the film so well.
Yeah,
So does the score.
yeah. I'm just
And Tim
my
Curry.
thing is that people love to bash Rob Zombie, and I'm gonna do my best to not do it because he's great in so many. He's 90% great.
Yeah, I love Ken Furry.
Uh-huh.
I need him in more horror.
Well, he's got to be up there now.
He is.
He's got the chops and the fro, and that mask is scary.
Uh-huh.
See, once again, we have another character who is being extra gross. Like, God dang it. That was a very considerate knock.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Basically, what he just said was that he ate some Taco Bell, and it's Taco Bell. It's going to be a good 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
See, he reminds me of Jack from Big Trouble in Little China. Like, he's on the radio all the time talking himself up how bad he is. Like, he's into himself. He loves himself. He's intense. I don't care who you are, even if you have a knife, even if you think you're tough. If you saw
If you
somebody
open that
wearing a
bootleg
mask
vault,
being all weird, like,
right, you
I think
open the
you're
soul
talking
and you
to him.
see that, you're like,
Yeah. I don't think you're talking to him. I think you're Sparta kicking him and getting it on right then and there.
yeah,
God bless truckers. That's all I gotta say. That's a tough life. It's a stressful, tough life.
that's my dad.
God bless truckers.
And this, I have to say,
It's a
the
shot.
Michael Myers like coveralls separating themselves from the typical blue, gray, spruce green of the others, kind of going their own direction. I really appreciate that. Like, it really set, like, the costume design works. And I feel like, if somebody, if, because after Blumhouse is done, they're going to do something. They're going to reboot it again. They're going to sequel a different sequel, something like that. If Michael's in coveralls that are not the blue, spruce green, or gray, people are gonna lose their minds and freak.
Yep.
So I feel like this was that chance. Outside of that, it gets no play.
Right. I could see some go back to gray. I could see that.
Yeah, but anything like this, like the duck coveralls,
Here's what I don't understand. Scout Taylor Compton. She's cute right here, lovable. She's got the glasses. She looks like the gal that studies but still has fun. She's relatable. I don't understand how hot she is in real life today. When we were at Comic Con, she is the most attractive female actress I've ever seen. And I've seen a few. I've been to numerous Comic Cons. I was not prepared on how gorgeous she is. And no disrespect or being weird, just holy jumping Jiminy. I was never really attracted to her in this movie. I thought she's cute, she's relatable, she's everything Laurie Strode should be. But in real life, I'm here to tell you guys, holy crap. I even told your wife, I was like, I can't get her autograph because she's too intimidating. She intimidated me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be fair. Wow,
I want to ask the question: how is Billy Zane not aged?
dude, Billy Zane is a stud. Like that guy.
What happened? He hit 30, and that's it. That's as far as he's going. Like,
Well,
that's it.
he bulked up, and he's still in shape. He's got good style, and he's just got a face where he's always gonna be a good looking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Billy Zane. I'll be honest there. Billy Zane intimidated me. That's a good looking dude. And he seemed a little like just a little bit we saw of him. He seemed a little bit larger than life. Just by, the he was excited, he was eccentric a little bit. But you know, he was still down to see everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, this right here, look at this
This
shot. Like
scene.
Rob Zombie's amazing, dude. Like this is a good shot right here. Looking at it, you examine it.
I mean, still not showing his face, using his hair to cover his face. Like, he understood with this film that we didn't need to see his face.
Well, here, Caleb, let's go a little deeper with it, okay? Let's go a little deeper. See how in the original movie you don't see Michael Myers' mask very well until later on in the movie, till the very end. In this movie, it goes the deeper next step to where you see the mask, which is just a mask, but you don't see Michael Myers' face. So it even goes deeper into he is Michael Myers. It's not the mask that makes him, it's him. So in that instance, it's almost deeper.
Yeah.
Phenomenal kid actors. Like phenomenal. See, she's got that innocence. She's playing with the kid. She gets the humor. She gets that what she can say and do. See that breathing, that quiet breathing that brings it back to the original, making him human.
God.
Danielle Harris. That's a great shot right there of Michael in the distance, reminiscent of the Bush shot, reminiscent of the school shot ish.
And your average 26-year-old, 18-year-old kids in high school.
Yeah, I don't remember studying in high school though. Like not like during the day, not studying. I would get there early and do my studying, and eat breakfast and do the thing. But see, here's where I struggle because I have no idea what the dialogue of teenage girls would be, so I don't know how nasty or whatever they could be. This is good though too with Loomis.
Yeah.
You know where he's going. See, in this one, it almost makes you feel like Loomis feels like it's his failure, and
Yep.
he's upset that that he let it happen. He takes all the blame on himself. But in the original, Loomis feels like, dude, I told you. Like, why weren't you listening? You didn't understand. I like both sides of it. I do.
Yep.
And McDowell for not watching the original freaking crushes it. That shows you how good the character is. That he translates the words, like the
Yeah.
character from words comes out.
I don't mean to name drop another channel, but every time since I've seen that video of Mike and Jay from We Watched a Movie where they're walking around that convention and he's like, Imposter Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
And Malcolm McDowell's at the table and just turns and looks. I think of it every time I watch Rob Zombie's H1 or H2, but honestly, I think that was a great casting choice.
Oh yeah.
Like, fantastic.
To be honest, his performance is phenomenal. Nobody could have done it better. I mean, see, I don't really like how aggressive they are to him in the daytime. I like that the car was driving by, that they didn't really understand. Here's this 6'8", 6'7" dude staring at him. I don't feel like three chicks walking down the street would be that brave talking to a dude that's just standing there eyeballing him. I don't believe that.
I don't know. This was also another great casting choice, in my opinion.
It
I don't
really
care
was.
who
Brad
plays
Dourif's
what.
phenomenal.
The scene in H2 where he finds Annie, I see so many people say it's badly acted, but if you think about it, if you really think you walk into your home and you find your child like that,
Spoiler alert.
2009, come on. Um, if that's a spoiler, what are you doing? But you're not gonna be coherent. You're
Right.
not gonna normal cry. It's not gonna be something that you just like would do any day. He does a great job of this like pain rage, and it's a heartbreaking scene.
Yeah, I agree. Here's Sid Haig. That's so funny that they didn't intend for him to be here. They just called, like, Rob called him up one day and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? We were going to hang out. Do you mind coming and shooting Halloween?" This is very, very random in that it wasn't really thought out. But no. What's interesting is the way you say it right there is spot on. Um, oh, here's another character that just F this, blah, 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 blah. But no, when like Brittany was giving birth, the first time especially, my wife, um, it's the same thing, like you're saying right there. The pain and the it's scary. You don't know what's happening. She just basically was like, "Ow, ow, ow!" You resort to that. No, oh my God, screaming. Like you don't have
Yeah.
coherent thoughts. You can't process the grief or the pain or whatever. I completely agree with you, Caleb, that it's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's different. It's not like you got bad news. It's like an instinct. It's deeper than the emotion, and I think that you'll never see that in like a mainstream film, like the way that Brad Dourif acts that scene out in H2.
Right?
Like, I think if other films are going to show scenes like that, that should be the study scene. Like,
Yeah.
that's what the cast should go home and study the night before.
Going back to Rob Zombie and how he shows you everything instead of just leaving it blank. It's also the escape scene in the beginning of the movie. You have no idea what happens. You have no idea why everybody's out just walking around in the original movie. Michael Myers just escapes and then he's good to go. In this movie, it shows you it's that thing where you want to show the brutality of Michael Myers or you want to show the mystery of Michael Myers. They throw the mystery out the window and they show you how crazy he can be, which is fine. But I feel like Jason really absorbed all of that, and that's a Jason mo. He's going to show you why he's so badass.
But, like, every time I watch this movie, I catch another moment where Michael Myers is in the background that I didn't notice before. This is one of those scenes. I want to say 2 times ago that I watched it during their love scene was the first time that I saw Michael in the doorway and him step back. Like that, I I catch a new one almost every time I see this movie, and I think that, like, yes, there's a very Jason aspect to this version of Myers, but somehow it also works. Like, it works really well.
Well, with Myers, you have to focus on the smoothness of the character, how he moves into frame and how he does things. But it's a very fine line to where I'm actually kind of curious on Halloween Kills and how that plays because the even in 2018, there's a lot of instances where it felt like the brutality.
Jason, yeah. No, I think Halloween Kills is gonna do a tightrope walk between like a Halloween 6 Myers and like a later sequel Jason. And I think that we're gonna have a lot of horror fans are gonna have a very strong opinion whether they like it or not. This, really quick, who put all the empties back in? That shows that Michael's cleaning his house, which can be taken two ways. One is like, why would he do that? And then there's me, and I'm like, that doesn't belong in his house. He wants it out.
Dude, here's a good spot here too, where it switches the scene where it was originally Michael, but now it's Bob, and it's a play on how like that's a really good reimagining right there, reinterpretation. Like I really like that scene right here.
Yeah.
Now you kind of go back to the original, lift him up, a little bit more of a struggle, sound, wait for it, boom, done. See, I kind of like in this one that he holds him up with the knife. It just adds a little bit more realism to it. He's still holding. Oh, okay. I forgot he let go of the knife. Okay, it's very similar. I forgot he let go.
Yeah.
I thought he was still holding him up at the end, but it's been a little bit.
He still does like the mannerisms really well.
Right,
Like, he did that head tilt, but he also walked away as if he's like, interesting, but I've got more.
right. And now this is nice because it plays in the previous kill. Now it plays into this kill.
Yep.
See, that's an easy cosplay right there. Sheet, glasses, two holes, go.
You should do that for the next con. Just
Go.
skip the Myers mask and just put the sheet on over top of it.
Walk in with a couple of empty beers, just
Yeah.
should be grateful I let you touch me with that thing. What'd you say? Look how big he is compared to her. He's huge.
Yep.
And that's the thing too, is like nothing against Tyler Maine, but just there's no reason for Michael to be big. It has nothing to do with Michael being big and imposing and
To
this
me,
huge threat. It has to do with you're not prepared, you didn't know, he's there, he's not there. It's scary. Like your life is in threat. Like not to the fact that you have no chance. Like
to
I
me, it adds to like the whole um like a level of respect my Rob Zombie had for the franchise, like making Michael Myers ridiculously large, like making him the focal point. Like this isn't anybody else's movie, this is his movie. But also what Tyler Mane brought to it, I think so many people echo this, and I do too, is the brutality from H4 and H6 with the mannerisms from H1 and H2 and like a uh, um, Jason esque build isn't by any means a bad thing. It's just not that original Michael Myers. If they did say that they had to recast and did a sequel, a direct sequel to Halloween 2, and then you made that Michael Myers 6'8", you'd be like, what? I don't know. That 6 foot, yeah. 6'2", all right. Even a little shorter, all right. But you start going taller, there you have a problem. Now, if you get a 7 foot Jason, sure, we can work with that. You get a 6 foot 2 inch Jason, yeah, we can work with that. And I also feel like Leatherface is one that you can kind of, because originally he was not a like well built character. He was overweight. He wasn't necessarily giant or small. He was kind of an average height. But then the reboot with Andrew Bryniarski, sorry,
Bernarski.
probably, yeah, probably butchered that. But that dude was a bodybuilder at the time, or dang near a bodybuilder. Like, holy crap, that just changed like the mindset behind Leatherface.
Look,
But
here comes here comes Michael Myers. He barely fit into the freaking door. You got Dee Wallace here who's crushing her role as the awesome mom. And that
as
fear,
always,
no chance. This is a rough scene too. For
we
as
could have
little
done her
screen time
too.
as she has, she crushes it.
Yeah.
See, she's crawling away. He's just enjoying it. He's just savoring it. She has no chance. There's nothing in there that's going to help her. There's phone. There's that false hope.
And
Maybe.
that's the thing, the voicemail thing makes it like a hard scene too.
Yep. Oop, one little grunt right there, toning him back down to be not necessarily supernatural, but more human. But his resolve being supernatural, and snap.
Yeah.
I don't know. The kid acting is phenomenal in this movie.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. The dynamic between these two, and then the dynamic in Halloween 2018 with that girl and the kid with his toenails. Those are my two favorite babysitter like interactions between the kid and the babysitter.
Right. You know, and there's a lot of instances in today's world, and even who knows how far back, where you always push the envelope. You always try to like be bigger or crazier than you are to get a reaction out of somebody. And yeah, the toenails thing, the be an adult, Lori. It's not appropriate, behavior. Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
Here's what I don't understand. Like, why wouldn't you pay homage to the remake of John Carpenter's The Thing? Like, that's where I'm confused. That mask is scary. Good lordy. He's just nasty. He's just, that's, yeah, that's scary.
yeah, yep,
Danielle Harris, like 30 years old, acting 18.
yeah,
She works it, though. She does a good job.
yeah.
See, I like this scene because, like, Loomis has no sense of, like, his actual strength.
Yeah.
He knows his resolve and his depth of evil, but I always like this scene too. I don't know. It's a little different, but just the way you see Michael in the background, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
That's
don't know.
the thing. They did they did a good job of the stalking. And I feel like that's something that was kind of lost in the later sequels. Like you don't see stuff like that in Halloween Resurrection.
Right.
You don't even really see that much stuff like that in H2O. You do a little, but
H2O tried to go back.
yeah.
What the problem is you have to keep the kills going. You have to push the envelope. You have to keep it entertaining. The
Yeah.
the thing I go with 2018 is I always view Michael Myers as like a crack addict. Like he like well hear me out. I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but as a he tried it for the first time. He kind of liked it. It's been a long time. He gets out. He gets a little bit. He gets closer. He gets closer, and then it's not enough. You keep doing it more and more and more and more and more and more. That's kind of how I feel about 2018 from the original to the 2018. He needs that high. He needs that rush, so he kills faster and faster and faster. That's how I justify it.
Yeah.
See, here's the like 2000. This is 2007. There's a lot of things in this movie that just wouldn't fly today, and I do appreciate like that this exists just because it showcases where we are and where we come from. Like in the director's cut, when she says like the short bus, handicapped, you can't say that today. I can't even say it right now because it's horrible. But there's certain things that shows you where we came from and how, for better or worse, we are today.
Yeah.
See, he's skeptical because he's trying to make money off of this. He's
Yep.
might be obsessed and misdirected.
Yep.
Speech is great.
That I know it in my bones.
Mhm.
Just like that delivery was perfect.
See, and he knows the extent to where he'll go, but at the same time, it's so ugly he can't even say it.
Yeah.
Brad Dourif's great too. He plays the no nonsense sheriff to the T.
And this, I remember seeing this in the theater, and you're just kind of like, wow.
Right. Well, play
Showing that like real time where there's nobody there alive, everybody's dead, and he's leaving that voicemail. It's impactful, it's memorable.
your
Like,
home to be safe. It's a place of happiness. It's you
yeah,
you create a better life for your kids and all this, and then boom, you're gone.
yeah,
And see, this is the innocence of kids and like life or death. Like how far does evil go? Like
yeah,
it's the kids are invulnerable too. Like I'll live forever. It's not going to be me. And then the playfulness, 5, 4,
yeah,
so good. That connection between them. That's a spot where the dialogue was great.
yeah. And this is a spot where the dialogue's terrible.
See a little bit too much Michael Myers shifting in the background. He was over in the corner. Now he shifted out of there. That's a little weird. Like this. Like, okay, come on. You're really lingering on it. Go.
Yep. Like three, two, one. Hey, whoa. Had pretty good timing there.
Teenagers don't just sit there and make out for 20 minutes. Like get it to it and go. That's a really good shot right there, though. Pulling her
It
back
is.
in. The wreath moves, calms back down. See, I don't know if the average person. I like that she's a strong female character, but I don't know if the average person is going for the drawer. I think you're just running.
Yeah.
Like, why would he roll her over if he wasn't going to stab her? He doesn't care. I mean, does he? I don't know. This Michael Myers is just out to just do damage. He doesn't actually. He's not there to inflict pain. He's there to just kill. Done.
But he does murder slowly a lot of the time.
That's what would be nice about playing Michael Myers. Like after playing Jason, like at least you don't have to talk. You just do the movements and you're done. Like to actually talk through what you're gonna do or like make fun of them. And that kind of like your actress is down there. She's naked. She's vulnerable. I can't imagine having to be that more maniacal in the situation. That's good acting for anybody that has to talk.
Yeah. Also, a really good blooper scene.
Yeah, it is. They are hilarious. This is weird too, though, that he didn't say who she actually was. That he made up a story. Like that's really weird. My headset's cutting in and out, so if I miss something, my bad.
Breaking my heart.
I thought I had this all ready to go. I spent like 4 hours trying to get everything back together.
Well, you saw how well it went for me, so
Yeah. See, that's pretty impressive right there because I would have been struggling. I couldn't have told her anything.
yeah.
Danielle Harris is acting her ass off. See, that's a great shot. Door shuts. He's standing there. He leaves her as bait, kind of a thing.
Yep.
A little, like a little too much Michael Myers in the background, but not bad. Rob Zombie played this well too because he let her just sit there like a character. It's a brand new character, but it's an actress where we have an emotional connection to Jamie Lloyd, so it really pulls on our heartstrings. And he lets it linger there. We feel bad for her, even though she's not the same character. We have that connection, and he just lets her just lay there. So
Yep.
no, we don't care as much for this character. We do. It's really interesting, and it's very well played.
Yeah. I wish that is one thing I wish 2018 and Kills and Ends would have done is to pull Danielle Harris back in.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know.
it could have been even if it was just one movie, one small cameo, just like a head tilt, because no other previous cast member has shown that much interest in doing it.
But I think this movie and the second one is the redemption for that character for her for Daniel
But at
Harris.
the same
I
time,
don't I don't feel that
to
it's
me,
the new movies.
it's kind of like the Freddy versus Jason to Kane Hodder thing. Like, you have somebody who's screaming from the rooftops, like, "Let me back in the franchise. I'll do just one cameo." I think the fans would like it, and then you got the fans behind the person going, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it." And you just don't do it. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know how many one characters that are going to be in all these movies? She could have been a face in the background of a trailer, and it would have made us happy.
Well, but I agree with you, but at the same time, it sacrifices the integrity of the new franchise, and that's something where if you're wherever you're at,
Those are,
it's weird because
those
as
are,
much fan service as 2018 Halloween is, you think they would do that. But it's one of those things where on the spectrum, I feel like you're either going to go for it or you're not. And I feel like that's where they drew the line.
I think that the words you chose there were really strong about the structural integrity or whatever. Because I mean, they massacred the whole idea of a new Loomis, and I mean, it's another Laurie Strode story arc
Right.
from Jamie Lee Curtis. Another one.
Right.
So
But
like having Daniel Harris pop up as like one character, even if it's just a quick snippet, maybe she's the person selling the guns at the gun store. Maybe she's
but once again, from a quality standpoint, if you see Danielle Harris, it will rip you out of the realism of the movie. It will rip you out of the depth, and it will show you, boom, fan service. It will literally rip you out. And so it's one of those things where it's strange how much they showed you throwbacks, but they won't do the Danielle Harris thing. It's very strange. But I will say, in my opinion, the 2018 throwbacks are very, very, very subtle. and most of the throwbacks are just generic things that would happen in any situation. Like so, that's me though. It's one of those things where I just think it would rip you out of the moment, out of the movie, out of the intensity.
I don't know. I feel like the forced dialogue about, oh, wasn't that her sister? Oh no, that's just something people made up to make themselves feel better. Man, that took me out of the movie.
Right. But I think that's almost more of a trailers thing that they just left in. Another good shot.
Hmm.
A little grunt right there. Second, well, maybe second grunt that I've noticed. Not bad. Not bad. I like that glass right there. He broke through it. He just dragged her out of it. It's quiet, but there's crazy things happening. She passed out. I'll be right back. 10 seconds. A little bit more.
He's just leaving.
Just leaving.
Just leaving.
It's good. That's a good shot.
It's a really good shot. And actually, this is one of those ones that I feel like makes or breaks a film. This made this. And I believe it appeared in almost all of the trailers. Don't quote me on that. Brad Dourif. And that's another thing. To everybody watching, he he finds Annie like this not once but twice. First here, she's alive. He's trying to calm her. He's trying to let her know she's going to be okay. And then in the second movie, it just, God, it's crushing. One thing I'll never understand is with the officer there, Loomis decides to go and do this on his own, knowing the dedication that this version of Myers has. Did you hear me talking?
I did. Did not help my peeing.
I should have said, "Kids want some popsicles." But no, yeah. So when he just finds his daughter and she's like living, and then he does it again and she's dead in H2, and just rough, rough.
That Annie, that innocence, like yeah, the sweetness that you're going to be okay, that confidence you have to instill as a parent that hey, everything's okay, I'm here, but everything's not okay, and that shakiness in his voice, I'm telling you, it's amazing. And that scene right
Yeah.
there, this is really tough. And I watched the behind the scenes thing right here about this basement scene, and I will say it's interesting now that I've seen it. There's a lot of light in this basement for having no light, no natural light. I don't know how you fix that, but it's still a good like everything still looks great.
Yeah. I also want to say that this is interesting too. Like the they didn't use different versions of the mask. They used the same mask throughout shooting. Um, and you can tell from the mask alone, he has no ill intent to her here. He's really just trying to connect.
Right. It goes down to his knees. He's slow motion to show the picture.
And even before he does that, the mask it doesn't it tones with his movement so well. You can see when he looks angry, determined, and then this is just like he's asking for that hum that humanity with his sister.
right? That's why I think I would have like had him right maybe in the dirt or on the wall, like sister, my sister, or something to like something more than just a picture. Like she's supposed to know. But in his mind, what he doesn't understand is like in his mind, he's like the connection between me and you. You should get it that you're my sister. But he just doesn't understand that she doesn't know. He's
Yeah.
whole life thinking about it. She hasn't. See, she's selling it like a boss.
You better run.
See, she got him about probably what 4 inches, 3, 4 inches on the left side. Probably didn't reach the lung.
But God, that would be a rough spot to be stabbed.
Yeah.
He gets up, he's gonna be pissed.
Right, but as far as like organs and everything else, you're good to go. See, I mean, in my job, I've seen a lot of houses. I haven't seen anything with like a dirt floor with
I have.
like this, with the gate, with, I don't know.
I have. So older houses like that would have like walkout areas and multiple levels. It was a wet basement, so that way the water had somewhere to go. But they'd also have to block it off from people or animals getting in, so they would use these old gates. I've seen them in like older houses, like houses built 20s and before.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I probably just haven't needed to be in those, but that's crazy. It is scary. It's a cool set design. It's I would have if he's going to be so big and she's going to be small, I probably would have tried to use like more. He can't quite get to her because he's so big and she's small. I probably would have used some of that, but this is one of my favorite right here, and this just happened because the location just so happened to have a pool. It was just one of those things where it just happened to work out. It wasn't really a thought. So this is really good.
Yeah. I will say this reminds me of the ending scene of House of a Thousand Corpses. Just the way the chase is reminds me of when she goes to see Dr. Satan. I don't know why.
Someday that story's got to be finished.
It does. And honestly, it's always bugged me that it never got finished in Devil's Rejects or
Mm,
even like talked about.
yeah. See, he sits there now. He's kind of enjoying it. She's screwed. It kind of actually reminds me of Poltergeist for whatever reason. Just that scary old school pool where you're just stuck where you're at. Still trying to connect to him. Ain't got time for this noise. 357 Magnum. You're not shooting and it's not recoiling. That's a monster of a gun. You're not shooting that one-handed also. Not like that. My
I
dad had.
just so like Michael is who Michael is. He's fairly certain Michael's really determined and possibly supernatural. And he's not going to double tap him.
Well,
I mean, for the sake of the movie, I get it, but at the same time, in reality, like, nope, nope, we're not playing this game.
see, but in this movie, I kind of do buy the fact that Loomis is sold on the fact that he's failed. And so when he shoots him, he's failed again. He's killed him. He's done. So once again, he accepts that he's failed. I feel like this Loomis is not trying to prevent. He's just so see there he is again. He's thinking. He's got his head on the top of the car. It's all about his failure. It's not about what's happening. It's his failure. I don't know. I It kind of works with his character.
Yeah, it does.
Is that the boogeyman? Much more clear than the original. Is that the boogeyman? Very clear. Boom. See that almost from Loomis almost sounded like it caught him off guard, like it was really real.
Yeah.
See, and just like in the other movies, it's like Michael refused to direct his anger at Loomis for whatever reason. But in this movie, once he accepts that it's his fault, Michael's like, "Okay, you're dead to me," and he
Yeah.
attacks. Love it.
And also, from the perspective of H2, he's dead. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like,
I don't know. You can have some skull fractures, and I don't know. It's amazing. I'll be honest. I've had a lot of death in my life. It's amazing what the body can go through and what it can't. Like there's really like little things that can kill you and like things that you can overcome that's amazing. So death in movies, like either you need to go with it and buy it, or you need to just let it like, maybe. I don't know. It's really strange. It's really strange to me being that I've had a lot of death in my life.
yeah,
What
yeah,
what what can kill you and what can't? Like the human body, our spirit, our soul, everything from the time of childhood when we figure out that we're going to die someday, we always fight the fact that we're going to die. I don't know. It's just it's
I mean,
interesting.
nobody really wants to die. Like, and this is getting completely off topic, but as somebody I spent a good chunk of my teenage years in and out of the hospital being told I probably wasn't going to survive. As much as I accepted it, I didn't want to do it.
Right.
But
Well, that's the thing is the thing about life that I understand that the bare minimum is the fact that you're going to die. And the best you can do is to hope to not leave anything on the table. You did everything you wanted to do. You know, you have some regrets, but you accept it. Um, you just do what you want to do because in the end of the day, you're not going to get another opportunity.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. When you really scratch the surface of accepting that you're going to die and knowing that tomorrow's never a guarantee, but at the same time still having to, plan for retirement and everything else. It's tough, but I need the human spirit, the ability to go beyond what the doctors say to to beat the odds, and then to the same time to he had an aneurysm and he was gone the next day. You know what I mean? Like there's just
yeah,
so much difference.
yeah. No, as somebody who has been a person that a nurse or doctor walks into your hospital room and looks at you surprised that you're still breathing, I still didn't want to go. Like I like it's weird at a young age just accepting that that's it. That's where it ends. Like I made peace with that, but I still didn't want to do it. You know? Like and don't get me wrong, where I'm at now, I have no intent on it. Like I survived all that. I'm all right. I this got all this going. I got too much crap to go now.
But at the
Who's
same
gonna
time,
collect the
if
stuff?
you can reach the goal of what you want to see, what you're acceptable leaving, like, you know,
Yeah.
living your life, you'll now that you know that, you'll be okay if you reach your goals.
I also think it's funny that horror as a genre brings out these kind of conversations. And it's funny because so many like commentaries or behind the scenes, things like that, I feel like there's always somebody who brings up the topic that horror makes you think about life and death, whether you intended on it or not. And it's funny that, when you're with like me and you talking as friends, like and now other people watching, having this conversation, it happens with horror movies. Just does. And this scene going up through the ceiling, and
Right.
it's that old like the ply. Yeah,
Yeah, this is intense. Like in the theater, this is like where it goes next level, where he's done messing around. He's going feeling to get to her. This is good stuff. Once again, too, though, like the original movie, 1978, this movie, if it never intended on being a sequel, which he didn't want to do, this movie, the intensity, the 100% that Michael Myers is giving, the larger than life kind of character, the intensity, it works for one movie. Like he's
yeah.
selling the bejesus out of it. Even Michael's impressed. He's like, "Damn, I did all that." And then she just falls through the roof. Like, got the pearl-handed 357 Magnum.
And something about this, like this slow get up, it just worked.
Yeah, there's Michael just staring her down. And it fits with this movie. He's like, I'm not 100%. I'm going right for it. Bull through a china shop. Just boom. But see, Michael's so big, he looks half the size of the house. So when he goes off, so it doesn't even look like that far of a drop. He's almost superhuman just because he's larger than life. Like that's what this movie really goes for. Like if you
Yeah,
can detach yourself from your original feelings from the original movie, what they go for works.
it does. And I think that this was Rob Zombie's attempt at like a new chapter. Like Laurie got to reinvent herself from that god awful, like that terrible, like white trash, cruel, foul home, and then got right back to what it bred. And then he didn't intend on a sequel, so what's about to happen worked again as a one movie thing. It would have been, I think, maybe a little more well received.
Yeah. Yeah, see her intensity right there, it makes you believe she shot him dead blank right in the middle of the head, crater in the head, he's dead. Especially the blood splatter, everything else. The problem
And
is,
then like
go back to Laurie Strode.
showing the I'm sorry, what?
When you go back to Laurie Strode, let's look at Laurie Strode. She denied the fact that the boogeyman was real. When the boogeyman shows up, she stabs him with a knitting needle, right? In the throat.
Yeah.
She walks away. She doesn't understand the level of danger she's in. There's innocence and ignorance that holds to her character. With this character is when she shoots him at the end, you do believe. So once again, it does kind of work with the character. It is a character you can see doing that.
Also, I think like so when Sherry Moon Zombie's character um takes her own life and they're showing like the Michael and Boo as kids, and then they do that again when Laurie shoots Michael. It's like it's meant to be a final moment, and then the studios, of course, are like, well, it was pretty well received, so we wanted two. And Rob Zombie said no and said no and said no. And then, from what I understand, they were like, fine, we'll give two to somebody else. And Rob Zombie was like, wait, don't do that. For better or for worse, personally, I'm happier that he brought his cast and crew back to it than if they handed it to the next big director, um, who may not have brought back the same cast, who may not have brought back the same crew, the same kind of cinematography. So I do enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween too, and that movie I feel like is probably the most divisive in the Halloween universe. I feel like you either love it or you hate it. I don't know too many people who are like, nah. Um, and that sucks because he was literally given the ultimatum of either somebody else is going to make it or you are. And then they were going to do that. We were supposed to get Halloween 3 with him before Halloween 2018 came out. And for whatever reason, and it's probably way for the better, that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, with any franchise, whether it be Star Wars, Halloween, whatever franchise you're going to make, you need to have an outline. You need to have an idea of how you're going to carry on the franchise. You need to have an idea from the go how you're going to, and an outline. Rob Zombie didn't have that. Star Wars didn't have that. Look what happens to any franchise that doesn't know where it's going from the and
And,
it.
and I think that was the goal here. Like, he made it so Annie's found alive, but she may not live. Loomis is presumed dead. Laurie kills Michael. The end. And I think that he really did intend on one film. It was going to be a one film thing. I know Rob Zombie is a classic horror fan. I don't think he's so much into the like later slasher sequels and things. From what I understand, I could be totally wrong. Um, so him just paying homage to the first film makes a lot of sense. Like, I know he's into black and white horror. I know he's into like the Adams, the Munsters, the things like that would have been his generation. So going on to push through sequels that pay homage to like the mid 80s, early 90s sequels may not be his bag, and then he was asked to do it anyways.
You need to plan for future movies. You need to have a tone that you can stay with, but push the envelope a little bit. Rob Zombie didn't do that. Studios didn't do that. It's the same thing with the original Halloween, with Friday the 13th, with Nightmare on Elm Street. They didn't have an outline. They had no idea what they were doing, and they just passed it off. It's the same thing that happened here. The only reason that it's the thing that a lot of franchises mess up is they just have no idea. They want to do their own thing, but they're stuck on the original outline of the characters and the tone of the first movie. And when you break away from that, it usually doesn't work out.
And I think when it comes to like the original films, like take the original Halloween for instance, like I know John Carpenter, he had a plot. He was planning on a film titled Halloween or like something of that and making an anthology series for every Halloween season. Like that was his goal. He had that roadmap. Friday the 13th, if I remember correctly, wasn't did not have a roadmap. There was no plan. And Wes Craven intended on Nightmare on Elm Street being a one film thing. Like it just was. And Toby Hooper had no intent on a second Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but said that people misinterpreted what he had as horror when he saw it as a comedy. But that's the other thing. He was a pretty young director at this point. Like if a studio's telling you they'll give you X amount of dollars and they are absolutely refusing your script, refusing it, and it's the studio that has the rights to the characters you just created, you're against a wall. With this, I feel like Rob Zombie really tried to go, we're going to kill everybody and we're going to let Laurie survive. The way that a proper average horror movie ends. And
And
then when the studio said, no, that's not good enough, we want a sequel, he said, fine, I'm going to kill everybody.
for what they were going for what they did for 2007, it's not my favorite Halloween only because it doesn't fall in the original franchise. It strays away from the original intent of the character, but for what they were going for what they did, I feel like they were true for their character for this movie. Comment down below, let us know what you guys think, if this is a movie you love, if you hold dear, if it's a great remake, if it's something that you wouldn't watch back to back to back. If it upsets you, if you wish you would have got more, let us know. Um, Anything else, Caleb, on before we close out?
No, just know that John and I both share this as probably, well, it is my favorite horror franchise, and I believe you've said that it's one of your top two.
Yeah,
So even the bad ones, I love, including Resurrection. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I'm really happy to give a commentary on it, and our commentary probably went off topic quite a bit, but this is our first one. Bear with us. I have no idea what we're going to do next week, but we'll have to figure that out.
yeah.
All right. Well, bye, everybody.